Well, hello, friends. Welcome into TexAgs Rewind presented by Yeti. I am David Nuño. We've got Matt Browning to my right. We've got Kelly Adams to my center left.
Sure.
And then left, Tyler Hatch, born in 1991. Sorry, that's the thing, Tyler.
It's okay.
But it is a thing.
When you're born in the 70s like us, it is a thing.
Here's why it's the thing.
We all saw the Carter administration.
First off, I appreciate younger people listening to sports radio because I listened to it as a 12-year-old. Like my whole life I've listened to sports radio. But a lot of our audience seems to be, but you didn't watch Dat Nguyen play live, which is weird to me, but that's called life. Like
It's life.
I didn't watch John David Crow play.
No, we didn't.
No.
But the highlights look good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
One of the top receivers,
Yeah.
no doubt. So today on the show, the fan show, you guys were on here. You
We
guys were
were?
pretty good. But
Thank you.
you weren't the headliner, were
No,
you?
we were not.
Who
We
was
were
the best
not.
part of the show? Was it me?
Dat
It was
Nguyen,
Dat
baby.
Nguyen.
Oh, how you do that there? We had Dat Nguyen on the show, which he was awesome. We went so long. We broke like FCC violations, breaking through commercials. It was just an awesome interview. We had Aaron Torres of Fox Sports Radio. You guys are Aaron Torres
AT's
guys?
good too, man.
I
He's
like
not
that
Dat
guy.
Nguyen, but he's good.
got different takes that are right.
And then that's bullcrap with Olin Buchanan. My bullcrap actually wasn't bullcrap. Travis Kelce saying, you know what, I don't mind. He only makes $14 million a year, by the way. And there's people who make triple that in the league for only $14 million. And he's like, you know what, I'm okay with it as long as we keep winning. I like it. I like that attitude.
I do too.
Now, I would prefer to make more than $14 million, me personally, but
I mean,
Who
how much do you need? I mean, that's the question.
20
Okay.
million.
I need 14.
It is TexAgs Rewind, and he needs 14. What is bullcrap?
Well, you know, last night with their second pick in the first round,
Are we going hockey?
the Detroit Red Wings took Axel Sandin Palika from Sweden. Who's going to take a Swede as a first round pick? Why would the Detroit Red Wings do that? I'm doing that up only because
Just Richard.
Richard Zane was so upset about it. I don't have anything to really be mad about today, so I'm going to be mad for Richard Zane.
Well, sometimes you can reverse it, not bullcrap.
Yeah.
And I found a quote that made me feel like there are good people in sports. Not good people necessarily. I don't know if he's a good guy, but I like this answer. So Travis Kelce was asked about having, his contract compared to others.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people making way more. One of them, Tyreek Hill, making triple what he's making. He says, my managers and agents love to tell me how underpaid I am. Anytime I talk about wanting more money, they're just like, why don't you just go to the Chiefs and ask them? When I saw Tyreek Hill get $30 million a year, and back in my head, I was like, man, that's 2 or 3 times what I'm making right now. I'm like, free market looks like fun until you go somewhere and you don't win. I love winning. I love the situation I'm in. He's making $14 million a year. Great money.
Yeah.
Second paid tight end. But his worth is more than a tight end.
You know what? If I was the guys in charge of the Chiefs, I would be calling today. That attitude is worth another $5 million. What I would say, when your best players care more about winning than they do about their individual goals, accomplishments, pay, whatever, that's when you win championships. And there's an example of that.
Championships,
Plural.
More than one. Yeah, I love that because a lot of times people the agents want you to stay quiet. Like you may think it, but you're not supposed to say it because it can hurt you bargaining, right? Just that is the honest truth. And by the way, 14 million's last time I checked, that's more than we'll make combined times 150. If you were to break down the 5 best or so players in the SEC, who would you be thinking?
Well, one name that jumps out on that list, maybe not the best, but I think you can argue Joe Milton is the most intriguing player in college football because, I'll be honest, Tennessee has that dream season last year and, you kind of go through the offseason, whatever. I don't think people realize, obviously they lost Jalen Hyatt, elite wide receiver. They returned most of their skill position guys, and they returned a lot on defense. And so, if Joe Milton is some facsimile of who he was in the Orange Bowl against Clemson, they're probably a 10-win team, and they're probably the second-best team in the SEC East, behind only Georgia. If he's the Joe Milton that we all think he is, they might be a 7-5 team. So that, to me, is probably the most interesting name in college football. And another one that you mentioned that I would put up there is Jaden Daniels, because I'll say this, man, I get that everybody's ready for something new in the SEC with Alabama, this and that. I don't think that they're that far off. As a matter of fact, I think, I don't even think it's a debate. I think their roster top to bottom is still the best in the West. It's just that for the first time since literally Jalen Hurts' freshman year, they have real questions at quarterback. So, Jaden Daniels, he was awesome last year. I'm not trying to discredit what he did, but I think people are lumping him and LSU into a category that I'm not sure, at least not here in early June or late June, I should say, early July, that I'm ready to do yet. But those are two guys that strike me as very intriguing. And I think they're obviously, those are two guys that, depending on their successes or failures, is going to dictate a lot in the SEC, which obviously dictates a lot for A&M because they'll be facing both of them.
You didn't start playing, you talked about soccer and basketball, but you didn't start playing football until your 8th grade year, yet you were at A&M a couple years later. I just can't fathom that.
Yeah, what's crazy? It's 5 years, right? I guess you think back now, it's real crazy, right? You're playing 8th grade because I told you I want to be a basketball player, and then the guy that recruited me, he'll be there we're doing a show in this coming weekend before the release of the documentary in July 4th. But Coach Cliff Davis, he played at A&M as a baseball player. He really kind of was a baseball player, and he came out to Bear Bryant for football for one time. His story, he'll tell you the story if you run into him. But he played at A&M. Then he was on the Colt 45, which is the Houston Astros organization, for 20 years as a player, as an assistant, as a coach, etc. But he was my junior high coach. So in 7th grade, I was a basketball player. I wanted to play basketball. I wasn't playing organized. We didn't have a club or anything like that. But I was playing a little bit of basketball. But my brother and my cousin came out for football. And there was an annex right between the football facility or the athletic department and the school. So every time I had to go to my last period was the annex, and coach would go past and he'll go to the facilities or the field house. And for 3-4 consecutive days, he would stand right in front of my last period. And the annex, it was a typing class. And he said, "Hey, why don't you come out to play football?" So he recruited me for about 3-4 days to come out. And I said, "Okay, coach, I'll come out, play." My brother plays, my cousin plays. He goes, "They're good. I think you can be a good player." So I go out and I said, "I'll play." And then all of a sudden, man, I go in. I didn't realize there was pockets inside the pants, for thigh pads. I didn't know there was the belt loops around the hip pads. Man, all this stuff was, another foreign language to me, right? So I go down and play the game, and man, I start loving the game. The game just became part of me. And I think when you get some confidence and you play, you fit in and you were doing something well, you enjoyed it. And football, I just enjoyed it. I just love the competition. I love competing. I love building up to a game.
Tyler, Kelly, Matt, we got a question. Who's somebody who's going to have a breakout year, right? Somebody who we're thinking about, but we're not thinking about man, they really, at the end of the year, we're like, wow, they had a great year. How are we going to figure out who's going to go first? Because we're going to...
come on.
Let's let the rookie go.
He likes to use the word usted. All right, Tyler, you get the first pick.
I'll go ahead and go with Noah Thomas. Everything that y'all told us about spring ball, and then seeing him until he got kind of KO'd, until he got that concussion in the spring game, I'm excited. I think he'll be a lot like Josh Reynolds. I think you can relate the track speed and the long limbs. I think he'll be able to really show out this year. Whether he's a starter or not, I know that's been debated, if he'll be one of the first 3 on the field as far as our wideouts go. But I think he'll make some crucial plays this year, so I'll go with Noah Thomas.
All right, very good pick. Between you guys, paper, rock, scissors, go. Okay,
There you go.
that was weird.
Good to Kelly.
Kelly?
I'm going with Jared Kerr on defense.
Okay.
I don't know if he's going to get a start. There's a lot of talented guys back there, but there will be an injury. And he's the kid who can he seems like he just jumps in and gets his job done.
Sure.
It's probably not the fastest, probably not the most talented, but he gets the job done every time. I love seeing him in the game because for me, when I see Kerr in the game, there's a trust factor that the job's getting done right to the best of his ability. And I think guys like that help the team, especially when there's an injury. Middle of the 3rd quarter, injury, guy who's played great goes out, Kerr slides in, and the job gets done.
I do want to read this to you. Chase in Houston, who hasn't been with us in a while.
Chase, what's up, dog?
I miss that guy.
He just to your Rangers report earlier.
He loves the Rangers.
No, he said.
No, he doesn't. I know.
Kiss the rings, Kelly.
Got it.
Plural.
Okay.
The rings.
Live in the past.
Dem
Chase.
Stros. All right, Mateo.
All right, so I love those two picks because they're both coming off the big draft class. They're guys that are going to be overshadowed by a Bryce Anderson or an Evan Stewart or something like that. So
let's see if Tyler knows what to do. Nope. Tom, have you ever watched a YouTube video?
Yes.
During a YouTube video, 97% of them tell you to do a couple of things. What do you think they tell you to do?
Look at the camera.
Yeah, they definitely. All of them say it right in the beginning. Hey, everybody who's watching, watch the camera. What else do they tell them?
To talk.
No, okay, but let's talk about the viewer. What is the viewer thinking? What do they want the viewer to do?
Oh, subscribe.
Yes. Comment.
Comment, subscribe, like.
Yeah.
Anything
Click
else?
the thumbs
And
up.
hey, click the notification bell so you never miss another.
It's always
TexAgs
great.
Rewind.
It's always great. Like the first timers, they always like, what is he asking me?
Catch them off guard every single
I don't
time.
understand.
Not one of them is.
And you know what? Usually they've watched the entire rewind. They know it's coming, but they don't know when we're here.
Because not one of them has gotten it right yet.
TexAgs Idol winner, Tyler. Thank you so much, buddy.
Thanks
Very
for
well
having
done,
me.
sir. Very well done.
Kelly,
Glad to be here.
Gerard Construction, I think, right?
Yes, sir.
Matt Browning, all about that life.
That's it.
All right. See you guys next time.